Give us in a joking manner.
You don't joke with me like that.
Well, I like
I
that.
make sure people understand that I don't deal like that. So don't deal with me like that.
Yeah,
Don't
because-
insult me. I would never say that to you. I would never call you foolish. Why? So I don't do that. Don't do that to me.
I like this because if you are watching this, you see it from my face because I intentionally said joking to see a reaction. And you
Don't
would see
joke. People would take advantage of you through jokes,
Welcome to another episode of Fellow Students. My name is Mohammed Napare, and on this episode, we will be discussing sexual assault and sexual abuse among students, and even sometimes students lecture sexual assault, right? So sexual assault literally means that touching someone intentionally or unintentionally without the person's consent, right? Now, this is very, very normal when it comes to university campuses because you literally see someone and then the person has already opened their hand to hug you, right? You are most times stuck between accepting the hug and not accepting the hug. But then what we don't know is that if I hug you and it's without your consent, right? So if I hug you and you don't like the way I hugged you, I've sexually assaulted you, I've sexually abused you. You understand? So on this episode, I'm joined here with Florisita. Florisita is my course mate. She's been my friend. She makes beadbags, right? And it's something that she does very well at. And so help me welcome Florisita. Florisita, welcome to Hello Students.
Thank you. So my name is Florisita, and as Napare said, we'll be discussing sexual assault among students and teachers as well. So one thing that I think is a problem with sexual assault among students is the lack of consent, like not seeking permission before doing things to people. For instance, you go to class and then someone comes and they want to hug you. They don't even ask or like check if you want to be hugged. Probably that day you didn't take your bath. It's a disgrace to you, okay? You won't feel comfortable after that. And kisses on the forehead, kisses on the cheeks. I personally have experienced stuff like that. So, yeah.
So these
are all issues that needs to be addressed when it comes to sexual assault.
Sure. So let's go straight into the issues of today. We are talking about sexual assault. So now let's talk about sexual assault before we talk about sexual abuse, because sometimes sexual assault is, for instance, right? You are my girlfriend, or I have a girlfriend, right? And then we are in a relationship, right? And then I do something sexually to harm you. That's a sexual assault, right? If I'm not mistaken. But then sometimes what happens is that on campus, especially when you have a sexual relationship with someone, it's like the person has full control and full access to you. You don't have any boundaries, right? And this is something that is people take for granted, right? Because we are dating, you can come into my room at any time. You can do anything you want with me. Right? But then that shouldn't be the case.
It should not
right?
be the case.
What do you think about that?
Obviously, the understanding of a relationship is not that clear, or that is what people think a relationship should be when it comes to student relationships. But that shouldn't be the case. Once you're not comfortable with it, you should set boundaries and you should tell your partner what to do and what not to do. That way you can avoid all these uncomfortable things that would happen to you.
Yes, and most times too, you visit your boyfriend or your girlfriend and then you meet his friends, right? And they start hooting at you sexually. For example, you have a big tortoise, right? So then now they just start saying, oh, utuni, like in quotes, right? And all of those kind of words, right? All those are forms of sexual assault. Or what did you think?
I do think that because it makes you uncomfortable,
Yes.
you know. Sexual assault is not really, it's not just emotional, it's also like physical. You know, some can even go to the extent of like touching you and be like, hey, you there, utusu and stuff like that, just because they are friends with your boyfriend. But it shouldn't be the case. Your boyfriend should also be able to stand up for you. If he doesn't, then you talk to him and set that kind of boundaries, not just with him, but with his friends as well, because they have no rights. She gets it.
Yeah. But then, how do we set boundaries? Because some time ago, I saw a quote on your WhatsApp status, and it was literally speaking about boundaries. I don't remember the context of it, but then what I remember perfectly was that it says that if you are continuously going to shame me for saying no to things, then that is fine, right? And I think that when it comes to, especially with students, right, female students, right,
Yeah.
that is not to say that men or male students don't also face sexual assault. It happens, it's both ways.
Yeah.
This is just female in a context because just so we understand it better, right?
For me personally, I remember the post you are talking about. It's about staying away from people who abuse you verbally. People who, well, I took it that way because I do not like verbal assault. Like talking to me in a certain way. When we are having a conversation, you'll be like, "Hey, you there? What there? Where Jimmy?" Stuff like that. I don't like it. So my way of preventing this is limiting the number of friends that I have. And if I see you're like this, then we can't be friends.
Yeah, because it's very important for us to understand the fact that if in certain boundaries, right? Because if I'm setting boundaries, it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't enjoy your company.
Yeah.
It only means that I'm protecting the kind of friendship we have because
And
if you cross your boundary, that could have a strain on our relationship.
And this has led me to confront certain people that I enjoy being around, but certain things they do, it just doesn't sit well with me. Like, you talk to me in a certain way, and you have to leave.
You have to.
Once you're in my space, or you're, let's say, in my house, and then we're having a conversation, and then you start saying things like, "Where Jimmy?" or stuff like that, or "You're stupid," "You are not correct," or stuff like that, you're gonna go home.
Let's give us in a joking manner.
You don't joke with me like that.
Wow, I like that.
I make sure people understand that I don't deal like that. So don't deal with me like that.
Yeah,
Don't insult me. I would never say that to you. I would
Yeah.
never call you foolish. Why?
Uh-huh.
So I don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Sure. I like this because if you are watching this, you see it from my face because I intentionally said jokingly to see a reaction. And you
Don't
could
joke. People would take advantage of you through jokes, you know. They would once, this reminds me, once a friend of mine said something to someone. If she's watching this, I'm talking about you. She said something to someone and I was so pissed. I couldn't say anything to her. I just kept quiet. And that's me. When I'm angry, I just keep quiet and like I move away from you for a bit. Or I post something, not necessarily about you, but something that when you read, you'd understand that what you did is wrong. So there were a group of friends after writing a paper. We went to, I don't know the name of the place, but they sell food there. And then they were sitting, so I was withdrawing money. And then she was talking to one guy. I have been in a music video before, so I don't call myself a vixen, but I have been in a music video before. And it was as a job, okay? So she spoke to one of the guys. He was like, "Oh, I'm nice, blah, blah, blah." And then she was like, I don't know what he said, but she was like, "Oh, I can even come and dance for him." And stuff like that. Stuff that we're not, I think he was talking about like having me do something like that, like related to this media stuff. So she was like, "Oh, I can come and dance for him and do some weird," I don't remember what she said, but I was so angry. I didn't talk to her again. For the whole day, I didn't even respond to anything she said to me because why would you sell me so cheap? I'm your friend. So the person is talking about me. What I saw first, what I heard when she was talking is she's jealous, right? The person is talking about me and saying I'm a nice girl and stuff. So she then steps in and says, "Oh, she dances in music videos and stuff like that." So
kind of a disrespect to vixens.
you see, because in Ghana here, when someone is a video vixen or something like that, they are not really respected.
Yes.
And I didn't do what they did. I went to work and then I left. And it was because I was doing a favor for someone. Even then, I wasn't present and like, I just did my thing and left. I was paid. So you can't go and tell someone that I went and I did this so I can do this for you. And I didn't do what you said I did. So why lie? Telling the person I can come and dance for them, and why are you saying I can also have sex with them? Is that it?
Yeah.
So don't do stuff like that to me.
So don't if you have a friend, right? What you're literally saying is that if you have a friend and the person is joking in an insulting way, you literally put an eye into it because
I tell you.
sometimes these insults or these joking insults are what the person truly wants to see or truly the feelings of the person.
And that's
Just
what the
disguise.
third party is taking away. Next time when he's talking about me, he's going to say, oh, she dances in music videos and she can come and dance for you, which is not the case.
Yes,
I do other things. Tell him I make bags. Tell
Like
him
I did.
I'm a YouTuber.
Yes, like
Tell
I
him
did.
I work in an office, like I'm a boss or something.
Yeah, like you're looking
Yeah.
smart casual.
So why would you take the negative part and spread it?
Oh,
That's a sign of being a bad friend too. Because once it's the little things people do, once they start saying things like this about you, the next time, what are they going to say? When you're not there. This is when you're there.
Like the part you spoke about selling yourself so cheap. Because sometimes, you see, the thing about boundaries is that I also have an experience, right, where I I used to call myself in a certain way, right? And it gave access to people to also call me that. So I remember when I was in JHS, I think primary 5, primary 6, I used to call myself Crazy Bamboo. See, it was very crazy. But then the thing about life is that the names you put on you actually has an effect or an impact on you, right? So I used to call myself Crazy Bamboo, and the least thing I'm angry, the least thing I'm trying to do giddy 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 giddy.
Okay.
So when you see me now, you see I look very
You're very calm.
So just imagine. So you see, now what that did was that I gave access to so many people, because then now even if my friends go to do something very wrong, they know Crazy Bamboo is there. Crazy Bamboo is there. You understand? And I up to now I still don't understand why I gave myself that name. So, but then when I realized that no, people are actually taking me for granted. People are seeing me as a rowdy child, someone that, oh, me, I can do anything I want and then nothing will happen. But that wasn't the case. I gave access to so many people to also disrespect me back. You understand? So the part about this conversation now is that I really want to understand, have there been an instance where, except for the when you felt insulted or abused by how your friends sold you so cheap, are there other instances where your boundaries have been let so down?
Well, there's been an instance with a lecturer. So I don't feel comfortable talking about it, but let's just talk about it. I had an issue with a lecturer, not an issue, there was something occurred, okay? One time in school, I missed the class, and then that class that I missed, it happened that they wrote a test, and that test was to be recorded. So I came back the next week, and I wasn't the only one who missed the test. So the lecturer was like, he doesn't believe that we had reasons for missing. We missed because it was the last lecture and then we didn't want to come. So I proved to him, I showed him that I was sick, which is why I missed the test. And then, I don't know, we were vibing, we were talking okay. It wasn't normal for like a lecturer and a student to talk like that. So, I don't know, looking back right now, I feel like that was bad for me to do that.
Like
but it led...
You let yourself so down to have certain conversations you're not supposed to have. Really.
Not certain conversations, because I didn't do anything wrong. I only responded to my lecturer and then was laughing too much. Let's put it like that. So he felt it was okay for him to invite me to campus to come and write my paper because I missed it, and that was why I was even talking to him. And another thing, one reason why I even opened up to him in that moment was because I wanted him to give me the chance to write the paper. But I didn't think that far, that he would take me so fast, like come and write in his room and do other things.
Not to cut you short, there is an episode on student-lecturer relationship, right? You could just watch that. I'll put links to that in the description. You can go ahead.
Okay, so he invited me to campus and then I didn't know where he was telling me to go to. So I went there and then it was his room. First thing that tipped me off was where he was standing when I was coming, in front of his window, showing me to go to the door. And I was like, okay, that's weird, because there are lots of people outside, so if this is your office, then why are you in the window? So I went inside and I was shaking. Then I realized, oh, it was my vibe. He was thinking like I got everything, like I understood what he was saying when he was talking to me. So to him, I was just going to come and do the do, and then I get my grade. But that wasn't my intention, so I felt so bad. And then I started recording him. he was saying
That was
things
smart of
and
you to record.
he was saying things, and then I was like, okay, say something bad, so I'll take you to your authorities. But he didn't, because immediately I got there, I was like, give me the paper and the pen, let me write my test and go.
Because
And
that
then
was the reason why you came there.
he was surprised. He was surprised that I was asking for the test to write. And I was like, what are you surprised about? Like, I came here to write my paper. But that wasn't all. He was trying to hug me and like talk to me in a certain way, trying to like go around the topic, not saying what he wanted. And I thank God I left there alive, because he was, at one point he even wanted to like keep me in the room. He didn't want me to go. But I feel he realized he's a lecturer and I'm a student, and if something happens, then he's going to have a problem. But this whole thing, yeah, what you should take from it is the vibe. I caused this. If I had gone to him and I had gone with a serious face, he wouldn't have been able to tell me to come to his room or something. I didn't know it was his room, but he wouldn't have even been able to tell me anything if I had given him like a straight face and like my proof and just walked out.
No, but then
So,
I think otherwise. I think it's actually not your fault, because in the sense that you were being nice to a lecturer, and that is actually recommendable. You're supposed to be nice. You're not supposed to be mean and straight to your lecturers, right?
no mean and straight.
To have like a cordial relationship, you understand? Maybe that kind of vibe. But then for him to take it extreme, especially when you were saying, then he thought you understood it because of your silence. So he took your silence as an implied consent. And that is a problem we are having nowadays, right? Because most like students or most people, even grown-ups, people in relationships, I do you something, and then because you are quiet, I think, oh, if you are quiet, then you are okay with it. But then that is not supposed to be the case.
So what, in your opinion, should you think I should have done?
No,
I think I should have just...
For me, I'm not here to share opinions. This is something that has already happened. The lessons have already been learned, right? All I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't victimize yourself as say it is your fault for him to have kept you in his room. You could have spoken nicely to him and he could have referred you to his office, truly, and then you sit in his office and write your exams and go. He was selling himself so low to you, thinking that you understood whatever he was trying to say. I don't know if you get my point.
I do get
so that's just what I was just trying to say.
But often after incidents like this, the victim tends to like blame themselves, because what did I do wrong? That's the first question. I was crying when I was going home. I was like, what did I say? What made him think I would do something like that? Okay, even though he recorded it, I don't know if he noticed I was recording him, which is why he even marked me and recorded my paper, but what could have happened, you know? What could I have done to change this whole situation? That was what I was thinking. And I cried, because he could have hurt me.
Yeah, it's true. Because I also remember an incident that a friend of mine told me, right? So she literally visited her boy. No, not her boyfriend, her friend, you see. And during the visit, the guy started making advancements to her, you see. It ended up in them having sex, you understand? And then now the thing is that when she was leaving, she was constantly blaming herself. What if I didn't go? What if this? What if... No, but then for me, I think that shouldn't be your concern. Your concern should be that you did what a normal friend would do. Visiting a friend is normal, right? But then allowing yourself so low for that to happen, or he also allowing himself, or thinking of your silence being an implied consent, is what should be the reason. And that is what people should actually, I think, should take out of this episode, if not for anything. Because it's becoming too serious that I touch you like this, and you are not comfortable with it. But then you can't say. Then because you can't say, I take it as a yes. Then I continue. That is my bad. That is not your bad. Maybe you're having courage problems. You are not feeling very okay, or you're not confident enough to tell me, oh no, I don't like this, or you are going too far. You understand? But then I am also thinking, say, oh, because you are quiet, why not? Let's continue. You understand? And that is my problem, not your problem. Although we understand that is a victim mentality, inferiority complex. People who find themselves in situations always think of themselves so low, and they try to avoid the situation. But then you did what a normal person would do. I don't know anyone who would have not wanted an opportunity to rewrite a test he or she had missed. That's the best thing you could have done. And to find a way to do it is actually the best. But then for the lecturer to think that, oh, so because this girl has understood it, then she's in, and he invites you and even signal through his window for you to come in. You didn't know it will happen. That shouldn't be your loss. You understand? We have been very emotional, but then it's all a part of the process. You understand? And we would get there, because sometimes people should really try to understand that, oh, the fact that I went here doesn't mean I warranted it to happen, right?
But don't you think it's the norm among students?
Yes, that is why we are having this conversation, because we want to break down norm. People shouldn't feel like, oh, the mere fact that someone is silent on something is an implied consent.
Yeah.
You understand? And that is what I really want people to take out of this episode, because it's becoming too much. Right? Students are out there and then they are abusing other students. Right? And then the abusers are actually feeling like they're on top of the world. That shouldn't be the case. I don't know if you get it.
I do get it.
Do you have any other things here?
Well, I feel like there should be measures put in place to punish these people. Because with my case, I felt there's no way to punish this man, because he actually didn't do anything to me. And in my recording, there was nothing that he said that could actually be pinpointed at to say that he wanted to have sex with me or he wanted to touch me. It wasn't a video, it was a recording. So you can't tell what he was doing, just what he was saying. And he wasn't saying much, he was just trying to touch me. So how do we punish these people? Because we have to stop it.
Yes, because and you see, sometimes it's not really about punishing those people, because the thing about sexual assault and sexual abuse is that you literally need to prove your case. Because if you say this, the lecturer will say, oh no, I didn't mean that. Right? Oh, I touched your hand, and then you said I'm sexually abusing you. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Right? So you sometimes say it has become, I don't know if it's still a norm, but then people are finding it very difficult to know who is right and who is wrong. But then that shouldn't be the concern of us. Whether who is wrong or who is right is not my issue. My issue is that I'm not comfortable with what you are doing.
Yeah.
The first thing you should do if I approach you on it is to apologize. Because the way I feel on a situation shouldn't be debatable. Like, you did me something, then I say, oh, Flory, what you did to me, I didn't like it. Then now you want to explain yourself to prove to me that, oh, you actually, like, I actually deserve what you did to me.
That's another thing about these oppressors. They feel like it's right. Once you think you're right, then I'm also right. Because what I said didn't cut you, it didn't kill you. So why are you offended? Why are you not feeling comfortable? Which is wrong. Because you have your opinion and I have mine.
So this part of the conversation should be focused on how do we prevent these kind of issues that happen. Because for us to actually punish the perpetrators or the oppressors, right, the people who are actually doing this, I'm not saying it's impossible, but then sometimes the courage for people to even voice out for these kind of issues to be taken up is an issue. So instead of us focusing on how to punish them, let's think of how to prevent it in the first place. So what I would want to ask is, how do you set your boundaries?
Well, for me personally, I communicate with whoever is hurting me or whoever is doing what they are doing to me. I tell you what I did not like about what you did, because sometimes truly they didn't mean it. So you tell them what they did, and then if they don't understand or they feel there's a need for them to justify what they did to me, then I move away. I stay away from you, and I make sure you know that I'm staying away from you. So yeah, and for those who can't voice out what happened to them, just try to avoid these people. Tell them if you can't, then avoid them.
Yeah, for me, I think that's she literally said it all, because communication is very key, in making what you want and what you don't, what's very known. But then the thing about setting boundaries is that before you can be able to set a boundary, I think you should know yourself first and know what you like and what you don't like. Sometimes and I'm a big believer of, you don't know what you don't like until you have experienced what you don't like.
Yeah.
So fine, it happened the first time, then I realized that I didn't like this. I shouldn't allow it to happen the second time.
Of course.
Right. So for me, I think she has said it all. There's communication, and it's about the second thing you said was staying away from the people as far as you can.
Possible.
If it means that not talking to them, let them know that I'm not talking to you, because recently I had an issue with someone. The person is not talking to me, but then I don't know that the person is not talking to me. So me, every time I want to talk to the person. But then the moment I catch the vibe that, oh, this person actually avoiding me and not trying to talk to me, then, oh, I respect that space for you. Because that's your space, that's my space. So thank you for coming on to this episode of Hello Students. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe to it. Florisita is actually a YouTuber. Google actually started paying her. So YouTube is actually paying her. I'll put links to her YouTube channel in the description so you can subscribe to her channel and then watch her videos. She's doing amazing well. And like I said in the beginning, she sells bags. One day I'll buy that bag. I'll buy that bag for someone special.
I might just gift you one bag one day. So.
Oh, wow. Well, if you gift it to me, I'll gift it to someone. Or like a man's bag, because you do female.
Anyone, I'll allow you pick what you want. So.
Then the person who has actually been in my DM, continue being in my DM.
Don't give it to your girlfriend. No?
I should use it.
Give it to your sister. Share. You will give my money to another girl.
Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.